Hello everyone, this is Taran from Study Hub. I'm back again with another video for you about a very commonly asked question even when we are teaching in the class. This is a very commonly asked question. What is the PTE exam pattern? What is the contribution of different questions? Or which ones are important, which ones are not important? So if you really want to know what is the exact structure of PTE, if you really want to know what is the contribution of each question over there to different modules, and if you also want to know which one of these questions are important, very important, and not important questions, please watch this video till the end. It is going to be very helpful, right? So let's start with the first one. The first one is here on our screen. It is about section 1, we call it. Now section 1 is about speaking and writing. In speaking, you will normally start your test with personal introduction for about 1 minute, and this does not contribute to the score. But it is a very good thing to just start with introduction to warm up and make sure that you become comfortable communicating with the computer, with the software in the real exam. So always use that 1 minute to become comfortable with the test. So then starts your question. Read aloud is the very first one. In real exam, you will get 6 to 7 read alouds. Then we've got repeat sentence, 10 to 12 repeat sentences. Describe image, there'll be 3 to 4 describe images. Retell lecture, there'll be 1 to 2 retell lectures. Answer short questions, 5 to 6 answer short questions. Right, so this is where your speaking finishes and your writing starts. In writing, we have got summarize written text, 1 to 2 questions, and writing essay, 1 to 2 questions. The total time for speaking and writing, if we overall look at how much time you're going to spend or how much time you will be doing your speaking and writing your section 1, it will be approximately 54 to 67 seconds, right? And in total there will be around 28 to 36 questions. Now this may vary. Normally it is never 28 or never 36. It will be somewhere in the middle range of it, right? Now I'm going to show you what these questions will look like. You get very first question, which is read aloud. So this is what the question will look like. You will have some preparation time. Now in that preparation time, you're allowed to read this, understand what it is, look for any difficult words, plan the pauses, right? Whatever, see when you start reading, so that you can do it confidently. And then after that preparation time, the mic will open, you'll be able to see it recording, and that's when you need to start recording by reading it loudly, and it is called read aloud. Now this is a question that contributes to score to reading and speaking. Because you're reading, it contributes score to reading, and then it is also contributing score to speaking, so it becomes a very important question. We have a separate video that Sumit has done where we are talking about all the speaking module in about half an hour. He has covered everything, right strategies, right approach. I'll highly recommend watch that video. We will leave the link in the comment section here as well. Watch that video. It is about speaking. It will be very helpful, right? But in speaking, the very first question will be read aloud, and then once you finish your read aloud, these 6-7 questions, you will then be moving to repeat sentences. So in repeat sentences, what will happen is there will be around 3 to 4 seconds of waiting time. Then you will hear a sentence and you have to repeat that sentence. Now this is a question that contributes score to listening and speaking, because you're listening and then you're speaking. A very important question again, so contributing score to listening and speaking. Now in this question, I'll just quickly show you a sample. Listen to this one.
The circulation desk is located on the ground floor.
Right, so this is a sentence that you're going to hear. Now you have to repeat this sentence. As soon as you repeat the sentence, you just click next. The next question that you come across will be your describe images, around 3 to 4 of them. I'll get different types of images there. You might get a graph, you might get a table, you might get a Venn diagram, a flow chart, or organizational chart, as we call it, hierarchy chart, right? So you might get any of these images to describe. For each image, you'll get 25 seconds to prepare. And then once the mic opens, you have to describe this image. You will have 40 seconds to describe this image. Of course, you'll be learning about templates and strategies, but today my task is to just make sure you become familiar with the test format. So we are not going to go or get carried away into the strategies. I know that can happen very easily. So describe image, the speaking only question. It does not contribute score to any other module. Then we move to retail lecture. Now in real exam retail lecture, you will have a retail lecture where you might see some images. Also you will have a retail lecture where there will be no images there, right? So not all the retail lectures will be image based or video based. Sometimes you're just listening to the audio. So in this case what happens is you're going to listen to a lecture for about 1 to 2 minutes. While you're listening to the lecture, you will be allowed to take notes, right? So you will be learning how to take notes effectively. And once the lecture is done, you have your notes, you will have 10 seconds of time in between. After 10 seconds, the mic will open. Now when the mic opens, you will have to retell that lecture in your own words. You will get 40 seconds for this. So it is very important that you really learn about good note-taking techniques or strategies, because you're multitasking, so you really need to have good understanding of how to take effective notes. And secondly, you need to have a good template that allows you to put in the content. If the content is not covered properly, I've seen students losing their score just because, although their fluency was good, their pronunciation was good, just because the content was not covered in the right way, they were not able to get the scores, right? So this is another question. Around 1 to 2 of them will be there. Now this is a listening and a speaking question. Then the last question is answer short questions. Here you will listen to a simple question and you have to answer it in one word or few words. For example, they might ask you, what is the month that falls between September and November? You just have to say October. What is the official document that people use while traveling from one country to the other? Let's say passport, right? So that's what it means, answer short questions. So you will listen to a question and you promptly answer that question in one or few words. So this is speaking done. Now speaking is the most important module in PTE, because speaking contributes around 40 to 45 marks to listening and around 30 to 35 marks to reading. So it becomes a very, very important question from reading and listening perspective as well, right? Now let's have a quick look at the writing module. So in writing module, the very first question, summarize written text. Important question. This question contributes score to reading because you have to read and understand this. And then based on the understanding, you're required to write your summary in this space here. As per PTE instructions, you need to write your summary in between 5 to 75 words. We recommend a good summary is around 40 to 60 word range, in that range. So if you're writing right, and again you don't get the score for just writing, you need to also make sure you have enough time for proofreading, your spellings, your vocabulary, the way you're connecting them together, punctuation rules, all these things need to be kept in mind. So in real exam you will have 1 to 2 questions. This question contributes score to reading and writing, and it is an important question. Then we move to the next one, which is essay writing. In real exam you will have 1 to 2 essays. For each essay you will get a topic. You need to read and understand this topic. Based on the understanding, you're supposed to write the answer. So first of all, you need to make sure you understand the topic. What is the main idea you're going to talk about? For example, in this case, if we look at, it says age discrimination at workplaces. So that means you need to make sure that you very appropriately deal with the question. The second thing you need to keep in mind is you need to also understand what is question asking you to do. We call it purpose. Is it asking you to write the is it asking you to talk about the advantages, disadvantages, or reasons and solutions? Or is it asking you to discuss and give your opinion about it? Or is it asking you to agree or disagree with it? So these things, minor things which we teach in the class in more detail, but few things you need to keep in mind. And then you're going to use a template to write down your answer here. You should write minimum 200 to maximum 300 words. Again, our recommendation is, we recommend normally 240, 250, 260 word range is a good range of essay. You will have 20 minutes for this task and your word count will be here. You will be able to see that in the real exam as well. Now, I don't personally feel this is a very important question, so I'll keep it in a medium important type of a category. Unlike IELTS where essay will make or break your score, in PTE essay doesn't make or break your score. But it is important that you know how to do it properly, right? So those things have to be kept in mind. So that is writing done. So in writing we have two types of questions: summarize written text, very important question; essay writing, medium important question. Then we go to reading. So this is our reading module. There are 5 types of questions in reading, and you will get approximately 29 to 30 minutes. So fill in the blanks, reading and writing, we also call them drop down blanks. There will be 5 to 6 questions. This question contributes score to reading and writing. Then we have got multiple choice, choose multiple answers, 1 to 2 questions. Reorder paragraph, 2 to 3 questions. Fill in the blanks, reading, 4 to 5 questions. Multiple choice, single answer, 1 to 2 questions. And so in total there will be 13 to 18 questions, and you will have 29 to 30 minutes. Now the only question in reading that has negative marking is multiple choice question, multiple answers. Let me show you what the questions will look like. So in reading there are 5 types of questions. This is multiple choice, choose single answer. You've got a question there. You need to read that question, and then you need to find the answer to that question in this paragraph here. As soon as you find the answer, you need to make sure that you make a selection and select your response. Not important question, very less important question, I would say. So we don't spend too much time on this question because number one, it is not very important question. Number two, at times it can be little confusing. So don't get carried away and spend too much time on these questions here. However, we will still be teaching you strategies and techniques when you are in the class, how to deal with these questions. But again, telling you whether it is important or not. So very important, medium important, less important. This comes into the less important category. Then we have got multiple choice, choose multiple answers. So this is a question there. You need to find out the answers in here, and more than one responses are correct, maybe 2, maybe 3. But there is negative marking in this question, so if you answer one right, one wrong, you'll cancel out the right ones. Let's say this is right, this is wrong, so this wrong will cancel out this one. Or if you selected just 2 of them, one of them was right and one of them was wrong, you'll get 0. Now please remember that this negative marking remains within the question, it does not affect. So you never get -1 or -2 or -3. Minimum score that you get is 0. So in this case, even if you're not sure whether the answer is right or wrong, we still will recommend make at least one choice, even if you are not very confident. Again, I'll keep that in the less important category. So don't spend too much time, don't spend too much energy practicing these questions. Then we come to reorder paragraph. Now this comes in that medium important or important category. You will have a jumbled paragraph, and you have to put this paragraph in the right sequence. This question is mainly testing your understanding of information flow, cohesion. Do you know how sentences proceed? Do you know how they develop, how an idea is developed? So you have to pick up the right one. You feel this is the first line, this is the second line, this becomes the third line, this will be the fourth line, and this will be the fifth line of this paragraph. And now you get the score. The score that you get in real exam is based on pairs, not the placement, pairs. So how many pairs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. That means you get about 4 marks here. Links, there is a very proper technique, proper strategy that you need to follow here. Then and this comes into the important category or medium important category, we can say. The next question after reorder paragraph is fill in the blanks reading. This is a question that contributes score to reading only. So far in reading, the questions contribute score to reading only, whether it is multiple choice question, reorder paragraph, or reading fill in the blanks. So what happens in this case, we are going to have some words there, and you have to drag and drop those words in the right sequence, in the right spots. And when you look at these questions, guys, you don't find many difficult words here. Why? Because this question is not testing your vocabulary, your advanced grammar and those things. This question is testing your ability to construct a sentence. Do you know how the sentence is formed? So we use a very good, very helpful techniques here about subject, verb, object, how to understand which verb form will be used, right? Sort of those things. So we will be learning about techniques. And that this question is solely based on strategies and techniques, and it is an important question. Then the next question after fill in the blanks is your reading and writing fill in the blanks. We also call them drop down blanks. So in this case, every blank there will be 4 options, and you have to select one correct response here. And as the name suggests, this question contributes score to reading as well as writing. Very, very important question. Right, so keep that in the most, like one of the most important questions in reading section is fill in the blanks, reading and writing. Right, now this is based on vocabulary, collocations, advanced grammar, context. Right, there are very helpful and very interesting strategies and techniques that we teach in class how to deal with these questions here. Done. So in reading there are five types of questions, and 3 of them are important questions: reorder paragraph, reading fill in the blanks, and reading and writing blanks. Right, now let's move to the listening section. In listening there are 8 types of questions, and you get around 30 to 43 minutes. So minimum 30 minutes, maximum 43 minutes. And that 30 to 43, that big difference of 13 minutes is just because of that summarized spoken text, which is 10 minutes question. If you get 1, it will be 30 minutes. If you get 2, it could be around 43 minutes. So very first question in listening section is summarized spoken text, 1 to 2 questions. Very important question. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers, 1 to 2 questions. Not important question. Fill in the blanks, listening, 2 to 3 questions. Important question. Highlight correct summary, 1 to 2 questions. Medium or less important questions, I'll say. This question contributes to reading and listening, so we keep it in that medium important question, but contribution of score is not high. Multiple choice, choose single answer, 1 to 2 questions. Not an important question. Select missing word at the end, 1 to 2 questions. Not an important question. And then we've got highlight incorrect words. Important question, 2 to 3 questions. Write from dictation, very, very important question. One of the most important questions in PTE, write from dictation, 3 to 4. So PTE structure is more about not just English but also common sense. You know, these questions here, these 2 questions or these 4 questions are very important. But right before that, there are 3 questions which are not very important questions. So you have to be careful that you really stay on top of the things with this, so that you can manage your time well and you can finish these questions completely. In listening, this is the first question. It's called summarized spoken text. You will listen to a lecture. Based on the understanding of the lecture, you'll be taking notes, and then using those notes and understanding, you're going to write your answer in this space here in 50 to 70 words. You will get 10 minutes for this task, and your word count will be here 50 to 70 words. Now this question contributes score to listening because you're listening to the lecture, and writing because you have to write the summary. Next one is multiple choice, choose multiple answer, negative marking, so have to be careful, and also it's not a highly scoring question, so we don't spend too much time on this. So there is a question here. You have to read that question, then you are going to listen to the lecture and find the correct response. Then the next question is fill in the blanks, listening. So as the speaker reads this, there is a word that is missing. You need to identify that word, and then you have to type it down. Now while you are listening to this, you will have pen and paper in real exam. You're going to note down those words on the paper by keeping your eyes always on the screen. And then once you have got all the words, now you're going to type your words in the space there. Important question, contributing score to listening and writing, because it will be testing your right words, right spellings and everything. Right, so important question, you're going to spend a bit of a time making sure that you're doing it in the right way. Then after fill in the blanks, listening, you will get highlight correct summary. So in this case, you will listen to a lecture. There are 4 summaries provided of that lecture, and you need to select the right one, whether the summary is this one, this one, this one, or this one. Now this is a question that is contributing score to listening because you're listening here, and reading because your reading skills are getting tested. Again, it's not a highly scoring question. However, since it is contributing scores to 2 modules, reading and listening, we need to do this properly. We need to make sure that we do it with proper logics, proper strategies. Next question after highlight correct summary is multiple choice, choose single answer. So you will be listening to a lecture and you need to find out the answer to that question and accordingly select that one. Not a highly scoring question. Then we have got select missing word at the end. So you will listen to a lecture. At the end of the lecture, a word or few words will be replaced by a beep. For example, if I say, if you need to score high, you will have to work very, so based on the context, understanding, you're going to select that word and it will be, right, you need to work very hard. There are some tricks as well, like we apply, one of the tricks we apply is positive, negative. So if I look at this, there are 3 negative words, there are 2 positive words. So if towards the end you hear speakers saying everything negative tone, then we are going to select one of that. If it is all positive, then we are going to select one of that, important or popular. Then there are other tricks, right, that we'll be learning as we go. And now comes second last question, important ones start now. Highlight incorrect words. So as the speaker reads that for you, there are words that are incorrectly said. You just need to highlight those incorrectly said words. For example, they'll say, the UN Charter comprises a preamble and 21 chapters divided into 111 articles. The Charter sets forth the purposes of the United Nations as the maintenance of international peace and security. So you just highlight the words that are incorrectly said. Another question that has negative marking, and it is important question contributing score to your reading as well as listening. Then the last question, write from dictation. You will listen to a sentence and you have to write down that sentence here. Highly scoring question, contributing big chunk of score towards your listening and writing scores. And in real exam you will have 3 to 4 questions. Now this is all about the PTE structure. I hope that was helpful. Please subscribe, watch our videos, like our Facebook page. We will be uploading more videos, more helpful videos based on strategies and right understanding. And if you want us to make a video about particular question type, feel free to let us know. We'll be happy to help. All right, all the best, take care, God bless you all.